And so we would do that. And it was cool for a minute. And then, like, the mom, she just, like, would only be, like, business-like. And it was like, oh, we're clearly having issues, but you're not opening your mouth and saying things. Whereas I would say stuff. And then Corona hit. Corona. I guess I didn't have to say this in slow-mo. I could have just did it. But anyways, March 9th, quarantine hits. So, me, ever the optimist, I'm like, we on quarantine? Cool. We about to have fun. I get to hang out with the kids more. This is going to be awesome. I get to cook for y'all more. This is great. You know what I mean? I'm ever the optimist. This shirt is big on me, y'all. But anyways, that's when stuff got crazy. So literally like the second week of quarantine, lockdown, I was having lunch with him and I can't go nowhere. So we in the house 24/7. And I knew this was going to be crazy. So I was like, I'm going to eat every other meal with them. So we both have our space from each other. So I was eating lunch with them. And the mom was like, oh, you eat a lot. And I'm like thinking like, okay, we familiar with each other. We cool. We could be real. And I was like, yeah, I like to eat. And the dad says in French, y'all, oh, tes seins va grandir. Oh, yeah, tes seins vont grandir. No, whatever. He said your tits are going to get bigger. Your breasts are going to get bigger. That's what he said. And, like, the mom and the daughter was like, oh, qu'est-ce que tu fais? Like, getting mad. And I was just like, this is when my French was, like, I was understanding probably, like, 30 or 40%. And I was just like, in my head, I was like, did he say what I think he said? No. That's what in my head. And I was like, I turned to him. I was like, what did you say? And he was like, nothing. I didn't say anything. And he was, like, smiling and laughing. And I was like, what did you say? And he was like, nothing. I didn't say anything. And I asked the mom, I was like, what did he say? Just trying to be cool, calm, collected. Cool, calm, collected. And she ignored me. She just moved on and ignored me. And I was like, okay. So then I was like, boom, I'm addressing. I was like, okay, I heard what you said. Don't say that again. And he was like, I didn't say anything. So they're gaslighting me. Y'all, they was gaslighting me. So that was that. So after that, that's March, early March. So I'm uncomfortable now. So now I'm like, okay, I caught these people talking about me twice. Why are they talking about me? They don't like me. And then I asked them about it, and they're like, no, fine. Like, what are you talking about? Your French is really bad. We're not talking about you. So I confronted the dad about the comments again, and I was like, hey, what you said yesterday, it's not funny. I don't appreciate it, and it's inappropriate. Please don't do it again. And I'm not kidding. And then I did this. Okay. And he was like, okay, all right. And he was like, I was like, what? That I wouldn't understand? He was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, well, I did. So don't say it anymore. He was like, okay. So that was that. I'm leaving out a lot of stuff, y'all, because it got crazy. It got crazy. But anyway, so that was that. So this is mid-March. And I'm like cooking a lot. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing to do. I love to cook. So I'm trying out new recipes. I'm like, oh, I'm going to make biscuits. The biscuits turned out bad. I'm going to make this. I'm going to make pizza. I'm going to make that. Like volunteering this. So I was like, I'm going to make dinner 3 times a week. There's nothing to do for me. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm volunteering this. And it's helping them extra than they needed to be helped. And I'm like, okay, I'm going the extra mile. And they still didn't appreciate it. So the mom, she just got crazy during quarantine. Like I didn't like eating with them because twice there was something weird that happened. The mom would always get angry if I was having a conversation with the dad at the dinner table, and the dad's talking crap at the dinner table. So no, I don't really want to eat with y'all. Kind of started avoiding that. And I just wanted my privacy time. So when I would like go cook my food when the mom wasn't cooking her food. And then when she would come down during her lunch break, she would go upstairs and be like, oh, the kitchen is a mess. And I'm like, I have never left the kitchen a mess. I'm cooking. You know that I'm going to clean the kitchen up. I clean the kitchen better than y'all do. So, yeah, and she said this all in French, and I'm like, she thinks that they really don't give a darn that I can understand them. And then when I say something, they're going to be like, oh, no, your French is bad. Just unhealthy as heck. And I mean, I wanted to leave in February, but I was like, I like the kids. I don't have my visa yet. I don't have enough money saved up in case I got to hightail it out of here and I can't find a family. So just stick it out. So yeah, she just started getting crazy and hostile, and me again, and I was like, hey, it seems like we have some issues. Why are you slamming your hands down all the time? Why are you always sighing and groaning and moaning every time I come around? She's like, no problems, no issues. I was like, okay. And then like, I'm doing activities with the 4-year-old, and they're like, oh, can you teach her letters and numbers? And I'm like, okay, that's fine. We don't have anything else to do. She's not in school. I don't care. But that's extra. I'm not a teacher. That's not what an au pair is. An au pair is not a teacher. It's supposed to be like a big sister, but whatever. So I taught this little girl, we had fun. I taught this little girl how to write her numbers, how to recognize her numbers, how to write her letters, how to recognize her letters. And we would do other activities. We would do crafts. We made sharks, dolphins, whales, turtles, butterflies, giraffes, cows, pigs, foxes. Okay, we did a lot of stuff. And then we had like a schedule. It was like she was at school. We would go outside and have outside time. We would ride our bikes. It was, I was really giving them a lot. I really was. And then on my off days, like I'm trying to be a good au pair, not the one that like, as soon as it's 5 o'clock and it's my off time, okay, bye, and I just ignore the kids. Like, no, that's not what I wanted to do. That's not the au pair I wanted to be, and it's not the experience I wanted to have. So on Saturday, like one time I asked, like during quarantine, I asked the 12-year-old, I was like, hey, do you want to go on a run with me on Saturday? And she was like, yeah, that sounds great. And so we go, and we made this plan like 3 days in advance. So we get ready to go, and I was like, okay, let's go. And, like, I hear the mom say, like, oh, she wants to go on a run, too. And I was like, and I'm like, my French is not that great, so I'm, like, kind of not listening. And so I was like, hey, you ready to go? And then I heard the mom, like, stump up the stairs and say, oh, les egoistes. And I was like, dang, she's talking about me again? In my face? But in French? Low-key, if you're going to talk about somebody, do it so they can understand. That's a punk move if you do it and they can't understand. So I was like, yo, just go with your mom. And the 12-year-old knew her mama was acting crazy. She was like, yeah, she's acting. And I was like, it's okay. Just go with your mom because she's clearly mad. So just go with your mom. And so that was that. Another thing. So a lot of au pairs got really abused during quarantine because like the parents were working and like the parents were pushing the kids on them like more than 25 hours a week, which was the limit. And I put my foot down and I'd be like, oh, y'all overtime. This is, you know what I mean? Like, I don't mind hanging out with the kids, but don't expect me not to count my hours. You know what I mean? And they were like, oh, if you go over hours, we'll give you extra. And it was $10 extra an hour. And I was like, okay, they went over 2 hours, y'all, 1 month. For the month of March, they went over 2 hours. And they was tripping. They was like, oh, that's like $80 for the month, and we can't keep doing this. I was like, oh my God. Somebody who's like helping out around the house, helping cook dinners voluntarily, teaching both your kids English, teaching your 4-year-old reading and writing. Come on now. $80. Woo! Times must have been hard. I just, if, okay, whatever. That was shade. Whatever. Don't get an au pair if you can't afford them. I was only getting paid 460 euros a month, which I'm cool with. I'm not here to get rich. I'm here to travel, have a quasi like European family, make friends, and live this like European voyage and excursion. Okay, so whatever. That was that. Another thing that happened. So you're supposed to be part of the family, right? So along with the problematic dinners, when they would watch movies together, and I'd be like, oh, this is my favorite movie. I'm on my off time, and I would like peek my head in and be like, oh, this is my favorite movie. I did that one time, and the mom was like this. And I was like, what the? So that was the last time I invited myself for a movie. That hurt my feelings so bad. So bad. But then they would fix their mouths to say, oh, you don't spend enough time with the kids. Every time I try to spend extra time outside of my working hours with them, the mama act crazy. But you know what? In the beginning, after I signed the contract, she told me she had some psychological issues because she had a lot of miscarriages. So I was like, okay, I understand that. But like, don't get an au pair if you're going to be crazy. Whatever. So March, and then April comes around. April's my birthday. And like, everything was already rocky and bad between us. But I'm like riding it out to the end of the storm. I'm like, you know what? As soon as quarantine lifts, the borders are open, I'm out of here. I've been looking for another family. I had to change cameras. Battery was full. So, okay, we get to my birthday, and I'm like, okay, things are already rocky. I'm not expecting them to do anything for my birthday because we don't like each other. Lo and behold, they did a lot for my birthday. The kids sent me these awesome, cute, funny, sweet, adorable gifts. The parents gave me $50, and they wrote a little note. It was like, oh, we're so excited to continue getting to know you during this quarantine. And I was like, oh my God, this is so nice. I was really surprised because like, y'all don't like me. It's in the air, the way y'all act. Actions speak louder than words, but this was really surprising. So yeah, that was that. I asked, I was like, oh, could you guys like watch a movie with me for my birthday? I asked a couple of days in advance, and they just like, I don't know if they forgot. And I asked, I was like, do you guys want to watch a movie? And they just like didn't do it. They just kind of like disappeared. And I was like, maybe they forgot. Yeah, so that was that. Like, and then I made, for my dinner, I asked for steak. They was like, what do you want for your birthday dinner? I was like, oh, I would like some steak. So I made the steak for everybody, which I wanted to make. I didn't mind cooking. I wanted to cook on my own birthday because I like it a certain way. The mom made me a egg-free apple cake, which was very delicious, and I really appreciated it. Again, very surprising, considering she hated my guts. So yeah, I made steak, macaroni and cheese, and greens, and they loved it. It was really good. Or not greens, green beans. And it was really good. I was like, okay, this is super cool. Everything's cool now. I don't know. Maybe families just have up and downs. I don't know. So that was that. And then like I kept baking and like trying different recipes, and y'all, I made this really good blueberry lemon cake. Ooh, so good. And sometimes I would mess up, but then like sometimes it would be really good. And I was like, hey, I made this blueberry lemon cake. And then the mom would be like one time the dad messaged me and was like, oh, the oven's broken. And I was like, oh, dang, okay. The oven's broken, darn. And I was like, what happened? He was like, I don't know, it just stopped working. And then like 2 weeks later, I saw the mom using the oven. And I was like, oh, it's working again? And she was like, yeah, it's working again. I was like, oh, when did it start working again? She's like, I don't know. And I was like, okay. I'm like, did they lie to me because the mom didn't like me cooking so much? why are you so upset and annoyed at every question I'm asking? Golly. So that was that. So that was like late April. And then lockdown ended in May. Like May 11th, which was hallelujah. Because if I had that Sunday spaghetti special that the man makes every day, I was going to go bananas again. He makes this Sunday greasy, cheesy, ham gratin every Sunday. And I just, You know what? It was a couple times it was good. Because I was like, don't you want to put some seasoning in it? You don't put no seasoning in there. I was like, put some garlic in there. Put some bacon in there. And he was like, yeah, it's really good. I was like, yeah, when you put seasoning and stuff. Anyway, the mom could cook. She could cook. The mama, her Christmas dinner was the bomb, okay? She made rabbit with red cabbage and some potatoes. Oh, crap. That was the bomb. But anyways, I mean, we had good moments also. So we went for like a citywide bike ride during quarantine. See, it's so many points where I'm like, okay, that was an awesome memory. That was a great memory. But then like there's other times. Oh, was it recording? Okay. There's other times when I'm like, oh my God, I want to get out of here. I'm so unhappy. I would be crying. I would be like stressed out because like the mom was mean to me or rude to me or the dad was rude to me and they excluded me. And so like fast forward to like May, that's when I was gone. When everything started opening up every other weekend, I was like pew pew bye 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 bye. Like I was going to Trier, I was going to Saarbrücken, and then when the borders opened up, I was going to France. I was gone. I went to Nancy every other weekend. I was trying not to go every weekend because I was like, oh, I want to be around the family sometimes. But I was just like, I feel like they want their distance. We was getting into it. Da 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 da. And so I had planned my vacation. This was the kicker, y'all. I had back in like January. It was like, yeah, the kids are gonna be away for 3 weeks in the summer. You can go and do whatever you like. You know, you can travel. And I was like, okay, go. So 3 weeks, I was like, you know what? Can I have one more week so I can make it a month? And I could just, be gone a month? They were like, yeah, sure. So back in March, he's like, yeah, so about those 3 weeks, I'm going to pay the insurance for you so you can be covered while you're gone. But I'm not paying you the pocket money for that month you're going to be gone. And in my head, I was like, dang, he is so selfish and cheap. But outside, I was like, okay, because it's quarantine. I don't have my visa. I'm not about to argue with you in your house. So I just was like, whatever. I had let it go. And I was talking to my friends, and they was like, oh, no, Jackie, they have to pay you because the contract is still valid. Just because you're going away and they don't need you doesn't mean that they don't pay you. And I was like, I know how cheap this man is, so I'm not going to say anything until like the last minute because he's going to be very mad. And yeah, I don't want to argue with him. So I'm just going to wait till the last minute. And if he decides to kick me out or whatever, I will have a plan and some money. So yes. So I had like verified with S&J. I was like, hey, is this true? Does he still have to give them the pocket money even if they say they don't need me? And I said, if I take a vacation for a month off, it was like, yeah, they still need to give you the money. It's in writing, you guys. This was in writing. From the government. And so, let's see. June is when it got horrible. It got horrible. So it was June 6th. That was the day I checked out. I was just like, this is a job. That's it. It's a job. So June 6th, the lockdown had ended. Things were kind of returning to normal. I was like, oh, I still would like to cook and stuff, So I made them. It's summertime. So I was like, I want to make some American barbecue. So I made some barbecue sauce from scratch. Some barbecue pulled chicken sandwiches and coleslaw from scratch. And some macaroni and cheese. I really have a good heart. I'm such an angel. Anyways, from scratch for dinner. And the mom was walking around pissy as usual. And the dad and everybody was sitting outside. And like I have all the like plates and stuff in my hand to bring it out, and like I knocked a glass over, and it was like falling slowly. Like the dad was sitting there watching it, and he had time to like grab it. He had time to grab it. He was just like looking at it fall. And then I was like, "Can you grab it?" And he just like looked at it fall. He was like, "Psh," and it broke. And then everybody was like, "Oh, oh," and I was like, oh. He let that fall on purpose. And so everybody was mad at me because I broke a glass that they got for free. Anyway, and so I just didn't say anything. I was like, I'm just going to be quiet. I'm not going to say anything. They know I didn't do that on purpose, but I'm not going to say anything. Because every time before when I made a mistake, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Do you want me to pay for it? You know, like that. But like the way they overreacted over me breaking a glass accidentally because I have all this stuff in my hand, and the way he sat there and let the glass fall, I was like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. And so the dad was like vacuuming the deck and stuff. And then the mom, after he gets done, she was like, thank you to the dad for, she's like, thank you so much for vacuuming to the dad. And she like rolled her eyes at me. And I was just like, I didn't say nothing. I just looked away. So that was like, I was like, they really acted like that because I accidentally broke a glass. That hurt my feelings so bad. After I got done cooking y'all this 3-course meal, and you acting like that because I accidentally broke a glass. Are you serious? The kids break glasses all the time. The mama broke the microwave glass. Anyways, so that was the day I was like, I can't stand these people. I'm about to just make it a job. That's it. I'm going to do my job and be about my business. And I'm about to leave them alone. And I'm not cooking nothing else for them. Because they clearly don't appreciate anything that I do. So, and I didn't want to quit because I quit everything. So I was like, I'm going to stick it out to November. And, you know, if I find another family, it might be the same trash all over again. So I was like, whatever. So this was June. So like all of June, I just kind of checked out. July 4th came around. I hung out with my friends. And the mom went out of town with the kids to like see her family, and the dad was there. And I wanted to invite the dad to like go to the like 4th of July barbecue with me and my friends. But I'm like, you don't be acting right. You are like shysty. So no, dog, we ain't even cool.